Hello, my friends, and welcome back to our series on Rules for a Knight, where we explore a set of guiding principles to help us out in life when facing these trials and tribulations that life tends to throw at us. Rule number 2, humility. Never announce that you are a knight, simply behave as one. You are better than no one, and no one is better than you. This is a very interesting guideline for us to work on and to keep in the back of our minds as we travel through this great adventure known as life, because we are constantly bombarded with metrics, with grades, with achievements, with goalposts that we have to reach in order to be perceived to be valuable in our chosen profession, in our activities, in sports, in even our hobbies, something that we just do for fun. We are constantly being measured up against those around us, which is fair because, competition breeds excellence in a lot of cases, but it is important to remember that at the end of the day, we are all human. A streamer or a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers, followers, whatevers, and thousands of views and viewers is not inherently better than the streamer or YouTuber just starting out. In the same way that a manager or a team leader is not worth more than each individual member of the team. Of course, they are more valuable in terms of numbers and what they contribute in that specific role, but as humans, we are not worth more than any other human. The core tenet of humility is to not let your rank or position go to your head, because your achievements are usually from a ton of microscopic little nudges and pushes and help along the way that you might not even realize at the time. But looking back, I think each and every one of us are able to pinpoint certain small amounts of kindness that helped us get to where we are. Like that nice lady at the coffee shop who always smiled with your coffee order, for example, giving you that little injection of happiness and motivation at the start of the day when you were at university or you were going to that night shift you desperately wanted to get out of, but you had to stay there because, money is important. Which also brings us to the fact that there is no need for you to highlight your own achievements unless you are specifically asked. If somebody asks you how you spend your time and you immediately profess and highlight and brag almost about all the things you have achieved in whatever direction, that will not only, make you seem self-aggrandizing in regards to your self-importance, but it will also start this dynamic where you try and sort of climb the hierarchy of this social interaction, which might even paint you in an adverse picture with your conversation partner. And that is not something that any of us want when we think about it. Trying to elevate our position by bragging about our achievements should not even be necessary, because our achievements should speak for themselves. And if people ask follow-ups, if people ask you, oh, you are so and so, how is that? Then you can, say, oh, it's so rewarding. The other day I something in that regard. But it is important to remember that even though you might feel like you are one of the most important people in the world, and you might be, and I would say that you are, I wouldn't say that I am, that is not something you need to draw attention to, because if it is true, people will immediately feel it at some level and even acknowledge it. The least humble people are a lot of the time the people that have the most reason to be humble. They're on the start of their journey. They're very proud of the good start that they have achieved, but they have not quite reached the level where their achievements speak for themselves. And that is completely fine, and I applaud each and every one of you who are on your own specific journey to greatness. The thing that makes greatness great is that you don't have to highlight your own greatness. Rather, you should highlight everybody else's. Because in elevating others, we elevate ourselves, and we don't give off this air of desperately trying to out-achieve and outrun our fellow human beings. This also goes into the topic of empathy. I think that a humble lifestyle permits you to appreciate the beauty and wonder of the nature around us, the society we live in, and the people we interact with on a day-to-day basis. In an existence where you don't feel like you are more important than others, and you don't feel like others are more important than you, you're able to experience life as a completely level playing field in which you are able to take a pause sometimes, look at who you're talking to, where you're going, the view you might be seeing from a mountaintop or from the top of a building, or just, from the harbor, or maybe even in a especially beautiful street. And take a second to humble yourself before this experience and reach the conclusion that, you know what? Life is actually pretty good. When achieving a good measure of personal humility, we can appreciate the little things because we ourselves are not too big for these little things. I catch myself sometimes wondering at the freedom that animals might feel. And I've been confronted with this when I'm like, wow, look at the bird in flight. Look at the squirrel climbing the tree. In the same way that I have marveled at the wonderful nature of physical labor as someone who used to work physical labor next to my studies, I was able to marvel at the raw feeling in your hands after a long day, and the soreness of your back, and the painful nature or the painful feeling in my feet after walking around hauling luggage at the airport. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I for some reason thought I was better than the job and the colleagues I had while working there. If I was focused on the fact that I was getting a master's degree and this was just a step on the road to pay my bills, I don't think I would have cherished the time that I was there. The bruises and the sore muscles and the aching back that job, naturally gives you, if I wasn't able to take myself down a peg in my own self image and realize that this is an honorable job with honorable people around me, and it's an honest day's labor. So, my friends, never announce your greatness to those around you, unless of course asked. Let your greatness speak for yourself and seep through in your actions, interactions, and the way you take time to elevate others' greatness around you. Because a truly great man is someone who doesn't have to stand atop of another in order to prove to the world how great he is. A great man will walk shoulder to shoulder with his fellow human beings and help them reach their goals while himself reaching his own, and thus they will both achieve greatness. That does not detract from one or the other, and most importantly, it's not something you have to brag about. Thank you so much for listening to this second episode of Rules for a Night. If you want to talk more about this, I stream on Twitch on every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. Link is going to be down below. And if you like this video and want to see more, like and subscribe. Do the thing. And I will see you guys next time. Until then, stay fantastic, stay amazing, but most importantly, stay kind. Goodbye, my friends.